Bring it on. ready to rumble. It is a beautiful day for baseball. Game 2 of your Friday edition of the Greater Lafayette World Series as we broadcast from Jim Turner Field on the campus of Logansport High School. And we're going from 16 and under in Game 1 to 15 and under here in Game 2 as we once again will see the on-deck group. They came up with a 4-1 win in Game 1 over 5-Star. The on-deck 15 and under will take on the Indy Sharks. As on the mound for on-deck will be Aiden Pitchnick here in our second game today. As we look at on-deck's defense, it is Bryce Wickstrom at first base, Levi Coghill at second, Tyler Wilson the shortstop, and Drew Ratcliffe is at third. Hunter Reagan the left fielder, Koa Grick in center, Kyle Elis is in right, Tanner Pitchnick is behind the plate, and Aiden Pitchnick is on the bump. Here in the top half of the first for the Indy Sharks, 15 and under, it will be the second baseman, Ian Wilson, followed by Max Meyer, the pitcher. Then the left fielder, who is Nolan Hebner. Thanks for joining us, Walt Ferber, and our great ISC staff. Bringing you 4 games today, your exclusive home of the ISC, of the Greater Lafayette World Series. And that is fouled off, and it is no balls and 1 strike. Game 1, as I said, on deck, a winner over 5-Star 4-1. That is inside. Whole lot of different venues this is going on at. Some smoke there. Swung on and missed. 2 strikes, the count to Wilson. Low and inside. Games being played at Benton Central, Central Catholic, McCutcheon High School, Clinton Prairie, Rossville High School, Harrison High School. And that is a strike, and that is all for Mr. Wilson. That's 1 gone here in the first. Games being played at Harrison, Twin Lakes High School, West Lafayette, here at Logansport Junior Senior High School, where we're at today, and at Loeb Stadium in Lafayette. Max Meyer, the pitcher, hits that first pitch to shortstop. A double pump, and the throw by Tyler Wilson to Wickstrom is wide, and Meyer is in at second base. And that will be an error. And immediately puts the Sharks with a runner in scoring position. As we'll take a look at this one more time. The double click, double punch, and throws it to the right field side. And at second base will be Meyer. That's going to miss. Hepner, the left fielder. 1 ball, no strikes. That just misses. And it's 2-0. Fouled. It's fouled off the catcher. Fouled off Tanner, pitch stick. And allowing the catcher a chance to kind of walk that off when you take a shot like that. So pitch stick will be ready to go. And the pitch to Hepner. It's hit into the left field. And a long run for the left fielder. And that will be out number 2. As the left fielder, Reagan, makes a great play on that. Extra hitter steps in. And that is hit to short. A bobble at short. The throw to first is in time. And Proley is down 6-3. And that is all for the Indy Sharks in the first inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We have played 1 half inning here at Logansport with there being no score. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness.
122.60 for Penn.
What a swim. Six of them.
And we are back for the Indy Sharks here in the home half of the first. On the bump for the Sharks is Max Meyer. Defensively for the Sharks, Nathan Mantle at first, Ian Wilson, the second baseman. Will Engerstrom is the shortstop, and Hudson Shipman is at third. Nolan Hepner in left field, Owen Cox the center fielder. Cooper York is in right, and once again Max Meyer is on the bump. As the on-deck lineup looks like this, leading off, it'll be Levi Coghill, the second baseman, Tyler Wilson, the shortstop, and Tanner Pitchstick, the catcher. No score here in the home half of the first inning. Off-speed pitch is low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike, and that evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. That just misses. 5.5 hole, that's a base hit. And On Deck leads off with a base hit. To start their home half of the first, they got a win in the 16 and under in game one. And they get the first base hit of the ball game. Sharks reached out with an error, with a runner on air, Max Meyer of the first. Home half of the first, no score yet in this one. That is inside, gets away from the catcher, and the throw to second is not in time. Coghill goes in to second base. So a runner now in scoring position with nobody out. I'll bring a quick conference. Conference breaks up, and an opportunity for Tyler Wilson to have a couple of words with Coach. And misses high. Two balls and no strikes. Into left center field, that's hit pretty well. That's going to bounce up against the fence, and that's going to score the first run of the ball game. As Coghill is going to score, and Wilson's got some pretty good wheels. Tyler Wilson ends up with a stand-up triple. He knocks in Coghill, and it's 1-0 On Deck. Still nobody out as Pitch Stick, the catcher, will step in. Took a pretty good shot on a fouled ball in the first inning. Glad to see he's up there, and he'll take the first pitch for a strike. No balls and one strike. Giving him some room in left center field. High and outside. Again, On Deck winning our first broadcast game today. 4-1 over 5-Star, and they're up in this one 1-0. It's inside. Back-to-back hits to start the ball game for On Deck. And that one's hit pretty well, too. And that's going to bounce at about the same spot that Wilson's did. As Pitch Stick is going to head for three. And, boy, you better take a picture. You don't see that happen too often. Back-to-back triples. As Pitch Stick's triple will score Tyler Wilson. And it is a 2-0 ball game. On Deck here in the home half of the first inning. Almost exactly the same spot as Wilson's hit is Nolan Winkler. An extra hitter will step in. Strike on the outside corner, no balls and one strike. And misses inside, momentarily gets away from the catcher. Stone, but keeps it in front of him enough to keep the runner from coming in. And here's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Winkler. Pitch stick is at third base. This is outside. There's still nobody out. And already a crooked number on the board for on deck. And that's hit well into right center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. And it's 3-0. So 4 base hits to start the ball game as Winkler gets a ribby, as pitch stick scores. And there's still nobody out. And that makes it a 3-0 ball game. As Brody Howard steps in now, an extra hitter for on deck. Fouled out of play. Well, Coghill started it off getting a base hit, went to second on a wild pitch, scored on the Wilson triple. Wilson at third, then Tanner Pitchstick hits a triple that knocks in Wilson. Then Winkler with a base hit that knocks in Pitchstick. And Winkler is at first base now. One ball and 1 strike to Howard. Foul down the third base line. Howard steps out of the batter's box, now steps back in. Misses outside. Two balls and 2 strikes. Sharks looking to record their first on deck out. It's inside. And that nicked him. So will be Howard going to first. Winkler at second base. And Grick, the center fielder, steps in. We have a consultation on the bump right now, as you don't want to let the thing get too far out. As there, you could look at possibly getting run ruled, as there's already 3 runs in, and you have runners at first and second. You still don't have anybody out. That nicks the outside corner, and that's a strike. So the conference looked like that worked. And that is high. Three runs on 4 hits for on deck, the Sharks. No score and have had a base runner on an error. That's fouled off. The Sharks right now, you just want to literally stop the bleeding. 1-2. It's barreled up well. And a pretty good play by the center fielder there as Cox makes the catch, and that is the first out of the inning. Wickstrom now steps in. Wickstrom, the first baseman, and he's high. Well, Greg barreled it up pretty good, but a nice play by the center fielder, Cox. And that's hit into center field. I tell you, Cox is one busy dude today. That's out number 2. He's made both putouts in the first. As Hunter Regan, the left fielder, up now with 2 outs. You don't like to give up 3 in the first, but with the way things were rolling, I think the Sharks will be happy to only be down 3 if that's what it is after 1. Strike on the inside corner. Max Meyer hits the inside corner there. No balls and a 1 strike. And that is a strike there. Oh, 2. That is hit into center field. No, that's not going to get into center field. The second baseman, Coghill, is going to make the play. And that is all. Well, pardon me, that is second baseman Wilson that makes the play, and that is all for on deck in the first. But they send 8 batters to the plate in the first inning, and after 1, it is on deck 3 and the Indy Sharks nothing. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score! Fall means football, and on the ISC, we've got you covered all season long. Catch our broadcast live on television on MyNDTV 23 and Comcast 81, as well as streaming on ISCSportsNetwork.com. With a subscription to ISC for only $4.99 a month, you get access to our entire library, viewable anytime, anywhere, on our website or on the ISC app. Don't miss a single broadcast. ISC Sports Network. Football lives here.
5, 6, and 7 for the Indy Sharks here in the second inning. It'll be the shortstop, Will Engebretten, followed by the right fielder, Cooper York, and the third baseman, Hudson Shipman, as Pitchnick is back on the bump for on deck. Just misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Misses low and inside, 2-0. Greater Lafayette World Series using 10 facility, hosting 84 teams, playing 195 games for the 2024 tournament. Here's the wind, the pitch. Strike on the inside corner. We welcome 18, 14 and under teams, 30, 15 and under teams, which is what we're having here. 24, 16 and under teams, and 12, 17 and under teams. And that is going to be a walk and a base runner for the Indy Sharks to start the second inning. First walk for Pitchnick. Cooper York, the right fielder, up now for the Sharks. Squares around to bunt and fouls it straight back. 3 runs in the bottom half of the first. Getting the scoring going here in game number 2. Just getting back in at first base is the shortstop, Anger Breton. Fastball just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, and good communications. The first baseman called everybody off, and Wickstrom, the first baseman, makes the play. 1 out. Anger Breton still at first base. Hudson Shipman, the third baseman. That's an excuse me tap. It's in no man's land, though, and everybody is going to be safe. Infield base hit for Shipman. Sometimes in the game of baseball, you get one of those seeing eye jobs. It just bounced out there in no man's land. And the Sharks may be down 3-0, but they are threatening here with the top half of the second inning with 2 on and 1 out. Mantle, the first baseman. That's a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Aiden Pitchnick in his second inning of work for on deck. Hit to third. And to throw to first. By golly, that's a 5-3 double play. That's a pitcher's best friend. As Radcliffe stepped on third and threw to Wickstrom, and that's all for the Sharks in the second. No runs, 1 hit, no error, and 1 left on base. We have played 1.5 here at Logansport with the score on deck 3 and the Indy Sharks nothing. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
And we're back in this 3-0 ball game. As Max Meyer on the bump. As we start bottom half of the second. 8 on-deck players came to the plate in the first and plated 3 runs. So we have the pitcher, Aiden Pitchnick, stepping in. Pitch by Meyer is a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. It is Pitchnick, Radcliffe, the third baseman, and Elias, the right fielder. Blowing outside for on deck here with the second. .372 straight away here at Turner Field. Jim Turner Field, be precise, and that's 7-iron into left center. Owen Cox, the center fielder, will take it, and that is out number 1. here in the home half of the second. Ratcliffe, the third baseman, up. Played a lot of outstanding venues in this Greater Lafayette World Series. At the strike on the outside corner, no balls and one strike. And the hospitality always great up here. You see some outstanding baseball. Fouled off down the third base line. Three runs on 4 hits for on deck. The Sharks, no runs at a base hit. Foul tip. And that is all for Mr. Ratcliffe. And that is the first strikeout of the contest for Max Meyer with 2 gone. And that will bring up the right fielder, Cal Elis. Swinging and a miss. 0-1 on the curve. Absolutely perfect July afternoon. It's high. Call it a Chamber of Commerce day. And you know, when you talk about this Greater Lafayette World Series and the economic impact it has on the area, it's kind of good to talk about. That's hit into right center field, and that's a base hit by Elis. A lot of people spending money. And at 10 different facilities across the area, including the Loeb Stadium, home of the Lafayette Aviators. Back up to the top of the order, and Coghill, who got a base hit to start that home half of the first, scored a run and came in on the Tyler Wilson triple. Runner goes to second. And the throw not in time. So Elis is at second base, where a base hit could bring in the 4th run of the contest. Strike on the outside corner. A ball and a strike with 2 outs. That's a strike. I tell you what, Myers painting the corners. 1 and 2. Hit the second, and that is 4-3 on the outs. Wilson to Mantle, and it's quick second inning for On Deck. In the inning for On Deck, no runs, 1 hit, no error, and 1 left. We have played 2 complete with the score. On Deck 3 of the Indy Sharks, nothing. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn.
Oh, what a swim. 6 of them.
That's how you spend a great summer afternoon. Got a lot of smart people here, little umbrella, not for the rain, but to shade yourself from a little bit of sun. But I tell you, as hot as it's been here in Indiana this week, this is not a bad day as we're in the middle to lower to middle 80-degree range during all of our contests today, and a perfect day to watch some baseball. Sharks coming up in the top half of the third. Hunter Stover, the catcher, fouls it straight back, and it is no balls and 1 strike. The wind and the pitch. That is hit, and it'll sneak into left center field for a base hit. Second base hit of the ball game for the Sharks out of Indianapolis. And that's going to bring up Cox, the center fielder, Owen Cox, who certainly played well defensively today. That is fouled off, 0-1, no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 to count. Fouled straight back again, it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. This is a 15 and under game. Strike on the outside corner. And that is all for Cox. And that is the second strikeout for Pishnick, and will send us back up to the top of the order. And the second baseman, Ian Wilson, who was one of those strikeouts to start the ball game. And that is a slow roller, and that's going to be a really good play by Pitchnick, who throws to Wickstrom at first in time. I thought that was going to be an infield base hit, but Pitchnick made a nice move and throws it to Wickstrom at first in time, and there's 2 gone. We look at this one more time. You know, that was like it was going to be in no man's land, but look at that. That is a gun shot at first base by Pitchnick. 2 outs in the second. That's hit to short as Max Meyer will be out 6-3, and that is all for the Sharks in the third. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 left. 2.5 played here at Logansport with the score on deck 3 and the Indy Sharks nothing. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score. Fall means football, and on the ISC, we've got you covered all season long. Catch our broadcast live on television on MyNDTV 23 and Comcast 81, as well as streaming on ISCSportsNetwork.com. With a subscription to ISC for only $4.99 a month, you get access to our entire library, viewable anytime, anywhere, on our website or on the ISC app. Don't miss a single broadcast. ISC Sports Network. Football lives here.
And we are back at Jim Turner Field in Logansport. And Max Meyer will come out for his third inning of work on deck up in this one 3-0. Always come. One of the great things I've got to do for a number of years is join the ISC crew for the Greater Lafayette World Series, and it is always a great day up here to work with what I consider one of the best sports networks in the country. As Tyler Wilson steps up here in the third. As a strike Tyler tripled, knocking in Coghill, and was scored by Tanner Pitstick's triple in the first. Up again here in the third inning. Misses low and outside. Five hits for on deck and 2 for the Sharks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wide with 2-1. It's high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Nice off-speed pitch, hits the inside corner. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that is a walk. So on deck leads off with the base runner here in the home half of the third. First walk by Meyer. He has hit a batter. Pitch stock. Steps in. He tripled. There's a strike. Knocking in Wilson. And scored on the Winkler hit. It's the first 3 on-deck players scored in the home half of the first. Throw back to first. Wilson is back in time. Swing and a miss. Oh and 2. Time is called. Tyler Wilson at first base. He does have good speed, and he's running now. Throw is not in time with a head first slide by Tyler Wilson. So a runner is in scoring position at second base, as that is a strike and a strikeout of Pitstick. Second strikeout for Meyer. Winkler and an RBI hit, knocking in Pitstick in the first, is up with 1 on and a runner in scoring position. Throw back to second. It gets away from Wilson at second, but not far enough for Wilson to advance. Just misses outside. Boy, I tell you, Wilson at second base, wreaking a little havoc. He had a huge lead, which was why it was thrown back to second base. He's going to third, and the throw to first is in time. And I thought maybe they got Wilson. Wilson was some way or another able to get under the tag. Winkler is out 5-3. But Wilson is at third base, and that'll bring up the extra hitter, and that is Howard. Inside, Brody Howard was hit by a pitch his first time up. So you have Wilson at third, walked, stole second, and went to third on the Winkler ground out. At the strike, had the hit and run going. And I thought he may have been tagged out, but good base running by Tyler Wilson to evade the tag. Misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. That is inside, gets away from the catcher. And head first sliding is Wilson with the score on the wild pitch. And it is 4-0 now on deck. Now that clears the bases. 2-1 the count. Just a foul tip, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's ball 4. Howard with a walk. Second walk of the ball game for Meyer. And Grick, the center fielder who flew out to center field his first time, that's going to bounce away from the catcher, and going into second base will be Howard. So Howard is now in scoring position at second base. And he's going to third, and it's a wild pitch. So the base running by On Deck has been superb here in the third inning. So Howard went to second on a pass ball and is stolen third. There are 2 outs. It's a 2-ball, no strike count to Grick. And a shot misplayed by the second baseman. The throw is in time though. And that is 4-3 on the out. The run does not score. But On Deck picks up another run in the third. Through 3, they lead it 3-0 over the Sharks. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Heading to the 4th inning, On Deck staked to a 4-0 lead. For the Sharks in the 4th, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Nolan Hepner, the left fielder. Then the extra hitter, Proley, Donovan Proley, and Engebretson, the shortstop, to face the offerings of Aiden Pitchnick, who has done the job as his predecessor did in Game 1. He's allowed 2 hits. Slow roller to third and bobbled at third base, and sometimes you just can't pick that dadgum thing up, can you? It's Going to be an E5 on that. That will put Hepner on at first base. That's going to bring up the extra hitter, Proley. Bounced out short to first into first. And that is hit to third, the throw to second, throw to first rather, not in time. That's an infield base hit. So Sharks threatening here as they have their first two base runners on the top half of the fourth. As Will Engebretson will step in. He walked in the second. Well, it's a 4-run deficit. But the Sharks could cut into that the way they're starting off the fourth. That's high and inside. Hit to third, and that is going to be off of Ratcliffe, and everybody's going to be safe. So the bases are loaded. Engebretson is at first base, Proley at second base, Hepner's at third base. And that's going to bring a trip to the mound. Well, they have not hit Pitchnick that hard here in the fourth. They have just literally been hit in the right place. So you have Engebretson at first, Proley at second, Hepner is at third base. As there is obviously a force at every base now. And the tying run comes to the plate. York will step in, Cooper York. That is a strike. Low and outside. Tanner Pitchnick does a good job of keeping that thing in front of him. One ball, one strike. Left field base hit. The Sharks are on the board. Playing a little station-to-station baseball. As Cooper York with a base hit brings in Hepner from third base. Going to third base is Proley. Going to second base, Engebretson. At first base is York. And that brings Shipman up, and there's still nobody out. And the advantage is down to 3. That is a ball. Low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Into right center field, and that's a base hit. And it'll score another run. And the throw is going to get away from the catcher, Pitchnick, and 2 runs are going to score on that as Shipman gets a base hit and an RBI. As Proley scores from third base, the error on the throw will allow Engebretson to score. And we got ourselves a ball game. The Sharks bouncing back big time. They're down 1. It's 4-3. Mantle will come up, and he hits that back to the pitcher. Throws that one, and they have the runner. And it looks like everybody's going to be safe. As it was back to Aiden Pitchnick, he threw to Tanner Pitchnick, the catcher, and they tried to run down. Okay, we'll take a look at this one more time. Runs him back, and you got to give credit to Cooper York for hurrying back and getting back into third base. It's 4-3 and a base hit now. could actually put the Sharks in the lead. And Mantle hit into a 5-3 double play in the second. He's up here in the fourth. That is hit down the third baseline and goes foul. So the Sharks have bounced back. They have used an on-deck air and some pretty good base running and timely hitting to turn a 4-0 disadvantage into 1 run and a chance here with a base hit to actually take the lead. And that is hit into right center field. It's going to be caught by the center fielder, and that's going to tie the ball game. As Mantle with a sac fly and an RBI. And it is 4-4 as Cooper York scores. As that's going to bring up the catcher. And the throw to first base is in time, but another run scores. And that's going to give the Sharks a 5-4 lead. As that's going to be Shipman scoring with 2 gone, and what an inning by the Sharks. It has been literally a Shark attack here in the fourth, and that pitch is a strike. Cox at the plate. That's hit to short. 6-3 on the out. Tyler Wilson to Wickstrom. But what an uprising by the 15 and under Indy Sharks. They come up with a 5 spot and through 3.5 innings have yanked the lead. It's the Indy Sharks 5 on deck 4. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa. My goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim. 6 of them.
Tell you what, these games are fun. It was 4-0 heading into the top half of the fourth. 8 Indy Sharks batters come to the plate in the fourth. They played 5 runs and they turned a 4-0 deficit into a 5-4 advantage. But here comes on deck now in the home half of the fourth. As that is Wickstrom. Flies that to right field, and Cooper York will squeeze it for out number 1. 1 gone in the fourth inning. Hunter Reagan, the left fielder, up. High, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Fouled out of play. Evens the count of the ball and a strike. That's hit to third. air mails the throw to first. As Shipman had a little high toss on that one to Mantle. And that will be an error on the third baseman of the base runner. The tying run on for on deck here in the home half of the fourth. Pitchnick, the pitcher, up 0 for 1, flew out to center field. Runner goes to second, and the throw is not going to be in time. Reagan takes second base. And now, if on deck gets a base hit, we could have this thing knotted up once again. Swing and a miss. Full Pitchnick there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Went one down low there. It's 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right center. And that's going to hold up long enough, and that is going to be a 9-6 double play. Pretty good fielding by the Sharks. And that is about as slick as you can get. We have played 4 here at Logansport with the score. The Indy Sharks 5 and on deck 4. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score! Fall means football, and on the ISC, we've got you covered all season long. Catch our broadcast live on television on MyNDTV 23 and Comcast 81, as well as streaming on ISCSportsNetwork.com. With a subscription to ISC for only $4.99 a month, you get access to our entire library, viewable anytime, anywhere, on our website or on the ISC app. Don't miss a single broadcast. ISC Sports Network. Football lives here.
And a new pitcher for on deck. It will be Edison coming in here into the contest for Aiden Pitchnick. So Edison in. As Pitchnick, as we look at his stats, ends up going 4 innings and allows 5 runs, all in the last inning on 4 hits. As he had 2 strikeouts and a walk. So the new pitcher is Edison. As we start the 5th inning. That's it first. Wickstrom steps on first base, and Wilson's out 3 unassisted as he goes to 0 for 3 on the day. As there's 1 gone. That is low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes. As Nolan Hebner is at the plate. Reached on an air and scored a run his last time out. That swung on and missed. Edison, the new pitcher. 2 balls, 1 strike. Coming in here in the 5th. That's an over-the-shoulder great catch by Tyler Wilson, and there's quickly 2 gone. Looks like he was running the fly pattern and caught the touchdown pass there. But 2 outs in the 5th on the Indy Sharks. As that will bring up the extra hitter, Proley. Edison, the wide of the pitch, and that is hit to third. Nice stop. 5-3 on the out. Ratcliffe to Wigstrom, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Sharks. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. 4.5 here in game 2 and 15 and under. Indy Sharks 5 and on deck 4. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Good old Goodwin here at the ballpark, the home of the Logansport Berries, one of the best renowned high school programs in Indiana baseball history. As Ratcliffe steps in for on deck. That is high. Ratcliffe, Elis, and then back up to the top of the order for on deck here in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Wind and the pitch. Foul down the third base line. It looked like on deck was large and in charge as they were up 4-0 going into the 4th. Misses inside. But a 5-run 4th inning by the Sharks, and they now have a 5-4 lead. That is high. Meyer has gone the distance for the Indy Sharks. Fouled off. Wide of the pitch. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped strike 3, and that was caught by Stover, the catcher. 1 gone here in the home half of the 5th. Third strikeout of the contest for Meyer, as Elis, who is 1 for 1 and has stolen a base, steps up, and that misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Blowing outside again. 2 balls, no strikes. Line the 2-0. That is inside, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. One gone here in the home half of the 5th. It's a 4-ball walk. Elis is on for the second time here in the contest. And that is the second walk for Meyer. Back up to the top of the order in Coghill, who is 1 for 2 and has scored a run. Have a conference on the mound right now. We're going to have a change as we're going to have a new pitcher. And heading to the outfield. Have to double check the number on this one. We're going to have some changes. And that is all for Meyer for the day. Wilson will go from second base to outfield. And we have a new pitcher. And the new pitcher will be Owen Cox, the center fielder. So Owen Cox will come in and pitch. And we are going to have Wilson moving from second base to center field. There will be a new second baseman. And we can't get the young man to turn around. So I can't tell you, Wilson is now in center field and Owen Cox is the new pitcher. And the day is over for Max Meyer. And the throw will be into second base, but going head first into second base will be Elis with his second stolen base of the day. So Meyer goes 4 1/3 and allows 4 runs. On 5 base hits. Ends up walking 3 and striking out 2. Coghill. Now the runner is going to go to third, so Ayla steals second and steals third. That's back-to-back stolen bases by Elis, so a lot of stuff with one gone. We'll tie this thing up again. It's 5-4 Sharks. Strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Levi Coghill. Is going to nip the outside corner. Two and two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. They'll have to go to third, and as they do that, the tying run scores. Love the aggressive base running by On Deck. So Coghill strikes out, but the catcher, Stover, has to throw to first, which he does. And on that, Elis scores, and we're tied at 5. First strikeout of the contest for Cox. And with 2 gone, that brings up Tyler Wilson, the shortstop. That's into left field. And you got Wilson on at first now. So 1 on with 2 outs. We're tied at 5 as Tanner Pitstick, the catcher, will step in. He ended up tripling and scoring and knocking a run in the first inning. Struck out in the third. Throw back over to first base, and Wilson is back in time. So on deck scored the first 4. The Sharks then came back with a 5-run fourth, and on deck is tied it up at 5 here in the 5th. And going into second base is Tyler Wilson, as on deck is running bases with reckless abandon. A base hit here could actually give on deck the lead back. That's going to bounce. A wild pitch is going to allow Wilson to move over to third base. Two gone. You have a feeling 7 innings might not be enough for this one. Strike on the inside corner. Big pitch coming up. Right field could be trouble. That's going to go a ways, and it's going to give on deck the lead. As trucking all the way to third base is Pitstick. He has his stand-up triple. Give him a run batted in. Tyler Wilson scores from third base, and it is 6-5 on deck. This is a wild one. This has been worth the price of admission today, that is for sure. As Winkler, a right-handed batter, is up, still 2 gone, a 6-5 game. And is in the turf, and a nice stop by Stover. The Winkler an RBI hit that scored Pitstick in the first, bounced out third to first, and the third is up again here in the 5th. Owen Cox on in relief of Max Meyer here in inning number 5. And that's going to get away from the catcher Stover, and it's 7-5 as Pitstick scores from third base. So the Sharks, with a 5-run top half of the 4th, 2 runs at the bottom of the 5th by on deck, and they have elongated the lead, or have taken the lead, as that misses. 2 gone. With 2 runs here, that's going to be ball 4, and they're going to walk Winkler. So Cox will come up with his first walk. And that'll bring up Howard. And we're going to have another conference on the mound. And so Max Meyer taken out after some trouble. Owen Cox has come on in relief. And he's now being chatted to. He needs to get 1 more out here in the 5th. conversation comes to conclusion. Howard at the plate. And that is a strike. No balls, one strike.
Let's go, one. Go, Brody. Come on, kid.
In the air on the infield. First baseman Mantle takes it. And that is all for On Deck. But in this back and forth contest, On Deck's back out on top. We have played 5. They're up 6-5. You're watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Race to the other end, and he punches it down. Walk in, takes it in. Little energy, little. Out the entire game. Touchdown. He's got it. He's up. Still going. Throws it up and hooks will throw it down.
Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa. My goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn. What a swim. 6 of them.
Now Edison back on the bump. And this back and forth battle, I thought I had it. It's actually a 7-5 game. Thought that's what it was. Sometimes I don't trust my own scorecard. As you had Cal Elis, Tyler Wilson, and Tanner Pitstick all scoring in the 5th inning. And that took a 5-4 deficit and made it a 7-5 lead. As we are in the top half of the 6th innings, Engebretson, the shortstop, been on base both times and has scored a run. And has hit the second, and that's right through the wickets there. That's not getting the tailgate down. And on at first base will be Engebretson. And you figure this thing's going to go down to the wire. York steps in now. I tell you, we've had a lot of stolen bases today. Engebretson takes second base for the Sharks. York scored and knocked one in that big 4th inning. It's low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. In the turf, and that's a nice job by Tanner Pitstick, keeping that thing in front of him. At the plate is York, hits that a shot to third. They have the runner off of the throw to first base is not going to be in time, and that's going to be a run scored. It's going to be an error. York's going to end up at second base. Engebretson scores it at 7-6. As the on-deck lead is now down to 1, there is nobody out. Here in the top half of the 6th inning as Shipman, the third baseman, steps in. So this is a back and forth affair. There's no doubt about that. Shipman's been on base both times and swings and misses. And it's no balls, 1 strike. Base hit of the 2nd and got an RBI base hit and scored of the 4th. It's knocked in by the catcher, Stoker. Laces out and hits that one to center field. That'll be the first out of the inning, as Grick, the center fielder, will track it down. Mantle, the first baseman, up, hit into a 5-3 double play to end the 2nd, flew out to center field of the 4th, up again in the 6th. 7-6 the score. Looks the runner back. And that is a ball. Swing and a miss. A strike. Looks the runner back. Ethan Edison on the bump. That's low and outside. Throwback to second. Back of the batter's box is Manfred. Just want to thank the hitmen. They got their lineups up to us here. Misses inside. And that is swung on and missed. Mantle 0 for 2. That's hit to short. Backhand thrown to first, 6-3 on the out. 2 gone. On the play, York moves to third base. And that is the tying run at third base with 2 gone here in the 6th. So all these extremely important at-bats. As Stoker, the catcher, working a 1 for 2 day, will step up. Base hit in the 3rd. Bounced out second to first in the 4th. That is hit down the first base line. And that's going to be the first baseman, Wickstrom, getting it, stomping on the bag, and that is all for the Sharks. But they attack and get another run. And we have 5.5 in the books with the score on deck 7. The Indy Sharks 6. You are watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
Fall means football. And on the ISC, we've got you covered all season long. Catch our broadcast live on television on MyNDTV 23 and Comcast 81, as well as streaming on ISCSportsNetwork.com. With a subscription to ISC for only $4.99 a month, you get access to our entire library, viewable anytime, anywhere, on our website or on the ISC app. Don't miss a single broadcast ISC Sports Network. Football lives here. The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
And we are back in a wild one here in game 2. Owen Cox back on the bump. And the home half of the 6th inning, and that first pitch is a strike to the center fielder, Coy Grick, who is 0 for 2. Flew out to center field in the first, bounced out second to first in the third. The lead now down to 1. Outside on deck looking for some insurance. The Sharks want to keep it at 1. Obviously on deck would hope that this would be their final at-bats of the ball game, which means that they would come out the winner at the strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. One hopper to short. 6-3 on the out. Engebretson to Mantle. 1 gone. So 1 up, 1 down in the on-deck 6th inning is Bryce Wickstrom, the first baseman. Steps up. Bryce 0 for 2. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Gets away, goes to the screen. Misses inside. That's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. If you're looking at the Sharks 7th, it'll be Owen Cox then putting back up to the top of the order in Wilson and the pitcher's spot, which would be Edison now. Misses outside, and that is ball 4, so a 1-out walk. Second walk for Edison. Ethan Edison on in relief of Max Meyer. Hunter Regan now flew out the center of the first, reached on an air, stole the base in the 4th. And they had the runner picked off, and did he get in? No, he was thrown out, so pretty good defense there as Wickstrom was thrown out going to second. So 2 outs. Let's take a look at that one more time. That's what you call an ace pickoff move. And 3-1, 1 to 3-6 on the out. And a great camera work and work from the truck to show it to you. These guys here at ISC do a tremendous job. Strike on the outside corner. Aiden Pitstick on deck for on deck. It's kind of redundant. On deck organization, really, really good. Little outside. Stepping back in will be Regan. Strike on the outside corner. One and one to count. Right field, an atom ball. Right at Cooper York, the center fielder. And that is all for on deck in the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and with the runner thrown out, nobody left on base. We played 6 here in game 2, 15 and under. It's on deck 7, the Indy Sharks 6. Watch the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Ethan Edison back on the bump and trying to get a win in this one. As on deck is up 7-6. A back and forth ball game on deck, a 4-0 advantage. And Sharks roared back and took a 7-5 lead. On deck came back and had a 5-4 lead. Then on deck bounces back to make it 7-5. The Sharks get one back to make it 7-6. Been that kind of ball game. Pitchnick was up when Wickstrom got picked off. He is up to start. Pardon me, that is Cox that is up. That is hit to center field. And that's a 1 pitch and 1 out. It's out there with the can of corn at center field is Corey Grick. 1 out, Ian Wilson up, 0 for 3. So Edison needs 2 more outs. In the turf, 1 ball and no strikes. That misses. Goes to the backstop. Left field base hit. You knew the Sharks were not going to go quietly. The tying run is at first base with 1 out. Max Meyer, this is his spot, and he is up at the plate. Reached on an error in the first. Throw back over to first, grounded out short to first in the third, and first base unassisted in the 5th. That is fouled out of play. A strike to Meyer. And that is going to get away from pitch stick, and on that, Wilson goes to second. So now the tying run is at second base with one out, kind of takes the double play away. That's going to bounce in for a base hit. Runners on the corners. So Wilson, the tying run, moves to third base. Meyer, the winning run, is at first with one out. Left fielder Nolan Hebner popped out to left field in the first, reached on an air and scored in the fourth. Popped out to short in the fifth, and we had a conference on the mound. And it looks like we may have a pitching change. And we do have a new pitcher. And that is going to be Howard. Brody Howard will be the third pitcher of the game for On Deck. Aiden Pitchnick started and went the first 4 to third. Then Ethan Edison came on in relief. And now Brody Howard will be the third pitcher of the ball game for On Deck. So 1 2/3 innings for Edison. Or 1 1/3 innings, I should say, for Edison. As he has 2 runs and 2 hits given up. No strikeouts, no walks. And Howard steps in trying to knot the game up, and on the first pitch, there's been a lot of running here, and Max Meyer's going to take second base. He's going to steal second. So a base hit could actually put the Sharks back out on top. In the turf, and a nice stop by Tanner Pitchstick. Inside. Howard, an extra hitter in the lineup, did not have a fielding position before as the third pitcher of the game for On Deck. Next contact, we will have the Hitman taking on Deck in our next outing. That is hit into left center field. And going a long way is Grick. And that is going to tie up the ball game. As scoring from third base is Wilson. We're knotted up now at 7 with 2 gone. Sack fly and an RBI will score Wilson. Staying at second base is Meyer. And stepping in now is Proly. 1 for 3 with a run scored. That is hit down the right field line and is just out of play. And this has been a back and forth heavyweight fight here in the 15 and under division, as it's knotted up at 7. Hit to third, the throw to first, in the dirt, picked out at first base by Wickstrom. 5-3 on the outs. So we are going to go to the bottom half of the 7th inning here in our second broadcast game of the day. We are tied at 7. You are watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.
Race to the other end, and he punches it down. Lock in, takes it in. Little energy, little. Not the entire game. Touchdown. He's got it. He does. Still going. Throws it up, and Hooks will throw it down.
Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn. What a swim. Six of them.
Owen Cox back out on the bump. On deck trying to get a walk-off. Had his hit to short. And a nice pick out at first base as Engelstrom throws to Mantle. 6-3 on the out as pitch stick is out 6-3 for the first out of the bottom half of the 7th inning. Bottom 3 in the order for on deck here in the home half of the 7th. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes to Ratcliffe, who has struck out twice today. Foul straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elis, the right fielder, is on deck. 1 out. 7-7, bottom of the 7th. A run by on deck would win it. They don't get a run, we go to extras. That is high. Cox on in relief. Could end up being the winner of this ball game, could end up being the loser in this ball game. That misses outside. Cox started the game in center field. Foul straight back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's ball 4. The possible winning run is on at first base with 1 out. Second walk in the contest for Owen Cox. Cal Elis, who has been on base twice and has swiped 3 bases and scored a run, steps in. After him, you flip it back to the top of the order and Levi Coghill. That's a wild pitch. Winning run possible winning run is now at second base with 1 out. Infield playing back. I would, you know what? As far back as that is, and with Elis' speed, I wouldn't be really surprised with a bunt. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Each team with 7 runs on 7 hits. You can't get any more equal than that. Feigns a throw back to second base. Radcliffe is back in. In the dirt, or turf. I used to, all those years before field turf, said in the dirt. Well, most of the places now it's turf. At a very nice turf field turf here at Logansport's Jim Turner Field. Blowing outside. Three balls and 1 strike, the count. A wide one would put runners at first and second and send on deck to the top of their order. That's exactly what we got. Third walk in the ball game for Owen Cox. Elis is at first base, Radcliffe is at second base, and we have another conference on the bump. This is good stuff here. Cox has not done a bad job. Coghill next up. Got a base hit. Was knocked in by Tyler Wilson's triple in the first. Bounced out second to first in the second and struck out swinging in the fifth. Looks like we are going to have a runner for on deck. Conrad is going to run at second base. So Conrad running at second base for Radcliffe. Looking for a little extra speed to get on deck over the top. Throw back over to first base. Elis is back. But, man, you got to give credit to the Sharks. They were down early 4-0, but came roaring back with that big 5-run 4th inning. At his high, it turned a 4-0 on-deck lead into a 5-4 Sharks lead, and we have been battling since then. It is 7-7 in the 7th. Certain alliteration about that. That misses. 3 balls, no strikes. A wide one would load the bases with 1 out. Cox the stretch. And the 3-0. That's inside ball 4. Well, pardon me, that is inside. That was not ball 4. That is 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. But what it did do is the runners advanced. It puts Conrad running for Radcliffe at third. And at second base, it's Elis. So you have more stuff that gets the winning run in as you're going to go ahead and put Coghill on. Does give you a force at every base. 4th walk for Cox. And Tyler Wilson tripled in the first, walked and scored on a wild pitch in the third. A base hit, stole a base, and scored on the 5th. He's been on base every time. 1 ball and no strikes. And a walk here would end the ball game. Into left center field. Caught by the center fielder to throw to home plate. Not in time, and on deck wins it by a final score of 8-7. as that man Conrad at third that was brought in to pinch run ends up scoring the winning run as On Deck wins it 8-7. The winning pitcher for On Deck was Brody Howard. Owen Cox will take the loss. That is game 2 of the day. Game 3 coming up just around the corner. On Deck, their organization has won the first 2 of our broadcast games today. You are watching the Greater Lafayette World Series on the ISC Sports Network.